Welcome to the PSY podcast. This is Gossip Poet here with
Daniel Roa
and Vynny Arcia.
And we are here in New York City to talk about my new record called Lake Erie. Thank you guys so much.
We're
really, really excited to put it out. We've been working really hard on it the entire time we've been here in New York. We just put out the second single called Lipstick Scars with the amazing help of PSY Sound. Couldn't have done it without him. Couldn't have done it without Daniel here. What did you, when we first did that shoot, what were your inspirations? Because I know I gave you some, we put together some ideas, but did you have anything that you brought to it that you were thinking?
Yeah, I really wanted to bring in this idea of nostalgia. We wanted to create a visual narrative with the imagery we were creating, and so we need to tell a story with each photo. And so I just knew I wanted something that was nostalgic. Your music is very ethereal. It has this reminiscent quality to it. And I think that's something that we need to show in the photos. And we achieved that shooting through film, scanning that in, giving it that tactile touch to it. It has a more intimate quality, I feel like, which is very visible in the work itself.
I totally agree.
And it was really fun working with you and Vynny on this. It was such a cool and creative little photo shoot we did in Central Park.
It was amazing. I loved it. That was the second time we were working together, and it was after the first one I was like, I know we need to collaborate on our actual projects. So I have been just writing and mixing for the past year like crazy. You've had to deal with it while you're trying to sleep in the apartment.
What's that like? Living with a musician.
Yeah, living with Gossip Poet. Tell me what that's like.
It's a good thing I'm a heavy sleeper once I'm asleep. But honestly, it's always fun because it's I hear your music and then it kind of inspires me a little bit. Has a little certain little tunes and stuff will get in my ear and I'll be stuck
where it goes.
Right, and it'll be stuck in my head and everything. And then I'll hear some of your inspirations that you'll play just to get a little new idea or something just pop into your head, and it's oh, I gotta add that, and I'm oh, you got this, and it just feels I feel like I'm watching your confidence grow even more than it already has been in a good way. So I'm just really excited to see the final product of all the songs and the album.
Yeah, for me, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was just saying I can't wait to see the final product once it's out and everyone can hear it. I'm really excited for that.
Oh,
everyone's gonna love it.
Yeah, for me, this was a total rebrand. I have been making music forever, since I was 16. I had this I was scouted by some really weird situation. I got put in a reality TV show where I was going to be the gay artist from Buffalo. It was really weird. They were everyone, there was a bunch of cast members throughout the whole country. It was fun. It was cool. And we had a very notorious person as the star of the show. I'm not even going to name them because they're just not going to name drop them, but they were Rolling Stone considered them the internet's most hated person at the time. If anyone wants to,
if you want to Google, do your research.
Juicy.
And they got arrested by the FBI during our after we had filmed the pilot and we were going around to networks, and that
cost money.
Shut the production down instantly. I was writing folk songs at the time, because I was obsessed with Edward Sharpe and obsessed with some of my huge inspirations for me, which there's interesting things about those now, but I was very, very, very inspired by the whole folksy scene at the time, and so I was writing folk music, and the producer for the show, his name is Dave Tomasello. Honestly, always want to shout him out. He was an amazing guy, amazing help. He helped my career, he is the reason that I'm kind of doing this at this point, to be honest, because if I hadn't, because I was just literally a kid, making folk songs, and he was this kid, so ultimately everyone else, the show got dropped, and Dave decided to become my manager, and I managed me to and we started my music career, and like toured literally everywhere, playing folk songs. Like, and when I say everywhere, we toured all over. Like, first it was hardcore in Buffalo, building that like local fan base, and then down the East Coast around New York State, and then we started to get like more and more people were listening to it, and we had more connections, and Dave sent me out to Europe on a European tour. Loved that. That was really, really fun. Played in Paris, played in Florence, played in Rome. That was like huge. That's like, for like, now I always think back to that as like a huge part of like why I still do what I do, like it's like that was big for me, because I was so young, and it was just like whirlwind of craziness. So that continued, that working hard, and Dave retired, and I was back on my own, and so I literally from that point, I just had to figure it out at that point, by myself again. So I don't know. I don't want to like talk the whole time. Do you guys have anything to add?
But no, I mean, that was...
I could keep going, but I will, but I don't want to just overtalk.
I remember when you were in the office when we were living in Baltimore, and you had like all these electronic songs and like sounds that were like boo 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 button and everything, and that was it was such a different sound from the original folk songs that you had, but it's also so different than what you have now. It just shows me at least that you have like a vast like array of like talent, in the sense of like being able to capture different genres, so like
so sweet.
so like accurately and whatnot, so that's something that I've always thought about, how you can just seamlessly like transition from one to another.
I love that.
So flattered.
But one thing that I want to know from you actually, is your name Gossip Poet. That's such a cool name. Mm-hmm. Gossip, I mean, who doesn't love some good gossip? Right. First of all. And then poetry. Beautiful poetry. Gossip is poetry. So tell me about that name.
Okay, so yeah, that for me, like that was like definitely a big part of my whole process, because as I was like when I was writing the folk songs, I had like a team at the time that was like, I hate to say it this way because it's like no hate, but like it was a bunch of straight dudes and I played, and that was like my band, and like they heavily influenced me, and I at the time wanted really badly to keep them around. Like I was like, okay, I need these musicians to stay with me. They inspire me. They're very talented. So like I found myself like at the time I didn't fully recognize what was happening, but I was writing songs that didn't really represent me as a person. And it was and like totally crazy stuff. Like I would write like a folk song about like love, and they'd be like, we need a funk breakdown. And we did. There was
a funk breakdown in a love song.
Right.
Okay.
There was. And like, I mean, I kind of felt it because it was fun for like the music festivals and the touring to play, to rock, like to have the drummers and to shred. But like it definitely took away from what I was trying to do. And in a way, what I was doing by myself was kind of similar to what I'm doing now. But then it got morphed and changed through rehearsals into something else. And so I didn't like that. It took me a while to really recognize how it was almost like creating like a identity crisis for me, because I was like doing, I was allowing so many things to influence me that weren't coming from myself. And like looking back when I first, so after that happened, or I eventually split ways with those artists, and I had written all the songs. I tried to put them out by myself. I was heavily influenced by Dan Deacon at the time. Shout out to Dan. Love Dan. Really, really awesome guy. Good friend from Baltimore. I was influenced by him at the time, which I am, happy with that influence. But I was taking the old songs, the songs that I had written forever ago, and I was trying to contextualize them, and it didn't really vibe. You know, people liked it and stuff. I got fans, but it didn't really vibe. You know, I didn't love it, and I ended up like literally like not even making music for a minute after that. Like I was just like just figuring stuff out. And a big part of what I realized was like the problem was I was like, I can like break it down into like two things. Like when you're writing music, you can either be like conceptual and write like a fictional story to write your songs about, or you can try and be as like authentic as possible and write about like your own story. And I think, and like at the time, like it was like, yeah, we have this sick story. I had like, my drummer was like a novelist, so we were writing this story, and I thought it was really cool at the time, but in retrospect, it was basically a way to divert myself away from having to feel embarrassed or feel like authentic, you know, like, and so it was like a cover, you know, like putting out like a story. It didn't have to be about myself. So, you know, that was and those are the same songs that we tried to put out later. So when I got to New York, I was like, okay, like this has got like, I'm a musician. This is what I've been doing since I was 16. I've been touring. I've been working so fucking hard. I gotta get back, you know, on the wagon or whatever. And so, but I wasn't gonna fuck around that time, you know. Like I'm older now. I'm aware, you know, and I was gonna take it seriously, you know. Like you can't just waste time and like, I mean, people, you know, like everyone does things in their own time, but you know, like some people are winning Oscars at 21, but like it took the time that it took to get to exactly where I needed to be to become, you know, the artist that I needed to be, which is Goddess Poet. And
Exactly.
like so I was going through some shit. I was like literally like the apartment was tiny. Our first apartment in Baltimore, so it was or not Baltimore, in New York. So it was like a mattress on the floor in this tiny studio apartment with no lights. It was just like like the worst. And all I had was a piano and the mattress. And that was it. And
what you got to do to make your music, you know?
Right. It ultimately was the gauntlet, you know, like at the time it was very difficult. I was miserable. But I you know, had to take that misery and I recognized, I was like, okay, you know, like this is like, I could literally use this. And so I started writing songs and I thought like, okay, who like I have all these influences. I have all these friends in the industry. Like who really inspires me the most? Like who do I like want, like if I could really be me, you know what I mean? Like what, like who would I want to be? And like, I don't want to name drop because it's too, I don't, you got to keep your influences a little bit hidden sometimes, but I wanted to make authentic music and I was not going to do the conceptual thing again. So I had been writing a record called No Hope Kids for like 3 years and it was going nowhere. So I was like, and I had been promoting it to my fans and then like I got to New York, I'm like laying on this mattress on the floor, like just like miserable. And I just suddenly was like, rebrand everybody.
Yeah.
It's now I'm not putting out the record I've been promoting for 3 years, and now I'm putting out a record called Lake Erie. And that's the record that is coming out now that Daniel has been such a great amazing partner in creating the visual accompaniment with. And Lake Erie is relevant to me because that's like where I grew up. I grew up on that lake, like literally like at that lake. And so one of the artists I had toured with when I was younger was Mount Erie. And so I kind of took a little bit of inspiration from their name. They have like the 2 E's in Erie, and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do something cool. I'm not just gonna do Lake Erie, so I had to like throw a double A in there and double E's, and so but that was the beginning of me like deciding like I don't care how like embarrassed I feel, like that's what's gonna like I hate to say it this way, but that's what's gonna sell. That's what's gonna like what's gonna set me apart from the artists that I was working with before. That in like don't want to throw shade. They're great people, great dudes, very very talented, extremely talented. You know, definitely shout out to Fredonia Music School. Like that's a place where Wayne Coyne of the Flaming Lips records there. It's a legit spot. But those artists were doing their thing, and I was doing their thing as well. And I so I was like, okay, like if I and honestly, like Buffalo is a place that has a thriving music scene, but it's very like
It's like two types.
In Buffalo there's jam bands and there's metal bands. Yeah. And in New York City, I've noticed there's everyone, like I said, outside is like a main character. So you have like there's a lot of lead singers and writers here who are like writing their own stuff, and they're willing to sing about their own thing and roll around on the stage and be like just really go for it here in New York. That's not going on in Buffalo. In Buffalo, it's just jam bands. They're all just shredding for like 4-hour sets, and that. So if you need musicians, go to Buffalo. If you need to hire them, Fredonia School of Music, great place. But if you're trying to be the artist, if you want to be the star, if you're trying to be yourself, and like that's what I was trying to do when I moved to New York. I had to change everything. I had to move to New York. Had to rebrand. Had to change my music name. At the time, I was going by my own name, which works for some people, but and this is actually going to sound counterintuitive, but in order to be my most authentic self, I had to actually kind of create a character. Like I had to give myself a moniker. I couldn't just be my name anymore. Because that's what kind of gave me the freedom to embarrass myself a little bit. Okay. And just kind of like put on that mask, so to speak, and just like literally like dive into it. Like write a record about the things that like the most difficult moments of my life, the place where I grew up, the people I grew up with, and that whole thing. And so that was what I spent all this time just sitting in that freaking damp. Like we also had, the only light we had was a blue light. So it was just this, imagine just this dark room with a blue lamp, and
it creates a mood, at least.
It definitely was moody. You can find, there's one video on my Instagram that is from that time, and it's just a video of my leg because I was too miserable to show my face, and I'm playing a Perfume Genius song on the piano, and
what's the song?
It's a song. It's Learn. You can just see it, and so you can see that video's there. You see the blue light. You can see everything, and but from the perspective of just my leg, and that was like that was where I had to drag myself up off that mattress to get up and just play the piano. Like I was like, I'm literally just laying here like miserable and hating my life. Like I'm just gonna fucking play piano. And so, and I was lonely, I moved to this big city. We didn't have any friends here. So it was like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking play some piano. And went up, played, started shredding the piano, and I was happy to play the Perfume Genius songs because they're just really fun. That he's really authentic to himself, and that that was what I was really trying to lean into. So I fucking did, and I started writing the songs. At first, I literally, Vynny can attest to this, there was times where I deadpan looked him in the face, and I was like, my life is over. I'm never going to be an artist again.
It will be at least once a day. Once a day, and I'm like, you're fine, don't worry.
No, I'd be like, you don't get it. It's over. and so I wrote. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna write all fucking new songs, and it took a while at first. Daniel, you can attest to how it sounded in the beginning.
There were a lot of iterations.
So many iterations.
It changed many a times. And even when we were like, oh, wow, this sounds great. This is definitely the final version. And we're celebrating it, listening to it. I'll get a text like 2 weeks later. By the way, I've updated the song. Here's the new version. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a new version, and it just kept getting better every time. Honestly, so I'm here for it. Yeah, it was great.
Thank you, Daniel. That's so sweet. Yeah, it was that was the thing. So and that was the first single. So like Soft Violence, that one. It was completely different in the beginning. You can, if like Daniel, I'm sure can recognize the roots still there, but it became a completely different thing, and I am really happy with it. I was not satisfied with it. That's the thing. Like as like I'm a perfectionist for my art, and like I sent it to Daniel as a collaborator, but I was not going to release it until I was like totally done. And there are certain influences, like older influences, that I try to deliberately avoid because they were ones that were things I did when I was younger. Again, not going to name drop them because they're great artists and I don't want to like shit talk them or anything. But so like I would like when I first written the song, I was like, okay, like I wrote something at least. Like it's not nothing, and but it was very reminiscent of my older influences. And so I just literally kept reworking it. And I remember the first time it was like, okay, there's this version that you've heard already. And then there's a different version of it that's completely different, like totally new verses, totally new everything. And the second version was the one that ultimately was released. And that kind of happened with every song on the record. Not everyone, but many of them. They had initial iterations, and through the process of just like I would like stay up for days and days and days to put myself into like a kind of miserable mindset just so like to see what art I created in that mindset, and so and great things came out of it. Like some of them were just like instantly like, this is what's up. Like with Lipstick Scars, that was the moment when I wrote Lipstick Scars, that was the moment I knew I had a record. Like I was like, okay, this is something now. Like, cause I like started writing it. I actually didn't have the verses yet, but I was just like literally just like riffing, like just some vocal trills and stuff. And it was like 4 a.m. Vynny's trying to sleep. I'm by myself in the studio, just like vibing, just like literally yelling at the top of my lungs. The doorman who's right outside my apartment heard the whole record be made.
Wow.
And when that happened, like that was a song that there was no second iteration. What you hear now is the single that we put out with PSY Sound. Shout out to Chloe Scheidez, amazing, super great help in that whole process. Literally couldn't do it without her. That is what I wrote at like that moment. Like literally wrote it. That's it. I was done. Like the song was like pretty much perfect in it's the moment I wrote it. And so that one, that was when I started to go, okay, like I have a sound now. Like now I have a sound. Like Gossip Poet exists now. It's not just an idea. It actually is I can fall back on something now. And then I kept going and wrote more and more and more and more, and ended up with a whole record of like 10 songs. And I'm super, super hyped for everybody to hear them. It's going to be amazing. I can talk all day. Do you want to have anything to add?
Not at this moment, no.
Well, what with the two songs that are already out, do you have a preference between either one of them?
I don't. I mean, I love Lipstick Scars. I probably love.
I
that
love
one
the name
more.
of Lipstick Scars, honestly, because it's like, you know, like when you put the lipstick on, you kiss on the shoulder or like on the neck or something, and it's there like a scar. It's like it's perfect. It's sad, but it's like, because it's like the remnants of something that was there but not anymore. But it also has like a bit of like love in that and passion in it, and it's such a great title. Honestly, I love the creativity from that one specifically with that name.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Just like the remnants of the lips, the kiss. Just
Yeah,
it's
right.
subtly there, and then it's gone, and then but you still have this little tattoo on my face where you kissed me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And that's what I definitely love how like the people that inspire me the most, like my friends and my collaborators, when they hear it and they have things to say that are that's so wonderful, that's like that inspires me to keep going. Like I love it.
Yeah.
Me and Daniel's meeting. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna be straight up.
Yes, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was hired as a nude model for a shoot because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
Your
fuck.
body's beautiful, you know. We're
Right?
all about it these days.
So I was like, yeah, and I don't give a fuck.
The
You know?
OnlyFans
So
for
I was
every
like,
fan.
I was, yeah. I mean, and again, like I'm in this. I mean, like keep in mind the story I just told. Like I'm in this state of mind, like fucking authentic. And what's more authentic than being naked on camera?
Oh, that's so
And
good.
so I got hired to do that, and they were like, and it's funny, I almost lost that job because I like almost never would check that work email. So they would like be like, hey, this great photographer Daniel is ready for Wednesday, and I'd be like, and I'd see that like 2 weeks later, and I'd be like, oh fuck.
Yeah. So I was a photographer on that, and I mean, it was honestly really fun. It was very edgy, high flash, very New York. We shot it in my basement, and so you could see like lots. My basement's very nice, but we also shot outside of my basement in like the actual hallway where there's lots of pipes and just the building's wall and concrete, and it just looked really edgy and fun.
And we had my Gibson there, the cherry red Gibson Les Paul, and that was a nice contrast, which I dropped during the shoot, and we both died.
Yeah, it was crazy. This really cool guitar, really old and expensive, and he's holding it he's fully nude, holding this guitar, and it's really sick. And then I'm like, okay, cool, I got the shot. And he goes to put it down, it just drops or something. And I'm just like, oh my goodness.
I think the strap came off.
I cannot believe that happened. It was very scary.
I played it off like it didn't matter, but in my mind I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You still think every time you look at that guitar now, though, you're like, I still see that
the
little
first
yeah.
thing I see is
like,
the notch on the headstock that came when it dropped.
you.
Oh me. Yeah, that's all I see now because I'm a perfectionist. So when I look at it, I'm like, fuck. I mean, it was definitely part of it's a memory. I'm down with that. But it's also a beautiful Gibson Les Paul. Oh my God, it got crashed into the Thrangen thing. But at the same time, I mean, like at the Sugar Bit show in Baby's All Right a few weeks ago, they were like rubbing a Gibson Explorer against a Fender, and I was like, okay, well, shit, like they don't give a fuck either. Like, damn. Because that was like a gorgeous guitar, but that was fun. And yeah, so we did the nude shoot, and it was just like instantly, like I was like, okay, like this person is amazing. I love their work, and
Thank you.
Like I said, like I really could not have created like. Because a huge part of the branding is the visual, like side to it, and that is like all Daniel. Like,
Thank you. I mean, I really wanted, to just put a little closure on the nude shoot. I really wanted you to feel safe and comfortable and confident.
Yeah.
That's a huge part of it, especially when there's such an intimate aspect of it, like nudity. So I really we made sure to take time with the shoot, try different spots, and that's why we were trying to do in a very secluded area as well, where you're just like, I can experiment, I can try weird poses. You had that freedom to just let loose and just do whatever you wanted, because we're the ones in control. We're creating this narrative.
It was very New York.
So the shoot was for this magazine called Hey Boy Mag. I'm not sure I don't believe the shoot has come out yet. We're still working on the details of that, but it'll hopefully come out and be very exciting.
Yeah.
We also shot a couple other photos at the same time on film.